The Yeah We Know podcast. It has something for everyone.
I just don't know. I don't know what to think. I don't get it yet.
Read your history books, Chris. You're older than all of us on this podcast. Dudes always get squashed in their hometown. That's the way it goes down in professional wrestling. Edge is from Ottawa, and he got his ass handed to him last night on Raw.
I mean, it feels like there's this inside thing that I just not aware of or understand.
That is a perfect day one WrestleMania opening match. The Yeah We Know podcast. 3 guys who can't wrestle, who can talk in their basements.
Hello, Internet. The Morgan You Know Podcast Network presents Balls and Brew.
Welcome into another fun rendition of the flagship sports podcast here on the Morgan You Know Podcasting Network. I am your host. My name is Rod Morgan. Joining me is the producer of this podcast and the producer of every other podcast on the Morgan You Know Podcasting Network. He's my right-hand man. He's the host of our wrestling podcast. He's awfully excited for WrestleMania, but we're going to keep him reined in talking about sports here early on. It's Jimmy Jamriska. Jimmy, hello.
We have the NCAA tournament, the last couple weeks of the NBA, WrestleMania right around the corner. Let's go.
Joining us from North Carolina, where he was certainly not sad to see Duke go, but I bet some of his neighbors were. It's Mr. Chris King.
I was not sad to see Duke go, and I don't care about my neighbors because they deserve to go.
And joining us is our man who chops up the numbers. He's our handicapper. He's Josh Williams. Josh, the most surprising result of the beginning of the tournament to you is what?
I mean, you could go 2 different ways. The low-hanging fruit would be Fairleigh Dickinson over Purdue, but I think we all kind of knew Purdue was frauds. I think most of us had them going out in the second round. But I'm going to go Princeton making it to the Sweet 16. Shout out Mitch Henderson. I threw out all those Indiana ties last podcast, and I forgot to shout out Mitch Henderson, CMA grad. He was on that last Princeton team to win a game in the tournament, who upset defending champion UCLA Bruins in 1996. That was an awesome game. So really, really fun to see. Glad to see Mitch Henderson in the Sweet 16 for Princeton. Princeton didn't even win their Ivy League regular season. They ended up winning the tournament, so to get in, and them upsetting Arizona was a pretty wild surprise there, and then just kicking the crap out of Missouri also. So yeah, shout out to Princeton.
Well, I feel like maybe you not mentioning them actually was probably good for them, because I don't think we had a great batting average with a lot of the stuff that we talked about in our episode last week. But you know who we cannot blame that on would be one Jimmy Jamriska. So Jimmy, you get the great spot here. You get to tell us who you would have picked as your national champion last week, and we all have to believe you because you weren't here. Who were you going to pick last week if you were with us? This could be cutting the nets down.
The truth is funnier than anything else. I picked Duke to win it all. I thought Duke had a very good end of the season. So needless to say, I didn't care very quickly.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the beauty. It's the
Broody, baby.
Yeah, listen, I guess there's my first slip up right there. I should let everybody know that we are all joining one another through the wonders of the internet, and that is good because I am isolating here in the Morgan You Know studios. I have the COVID-19 virus once again. It is a rather light case. I just have a bit of a stuffy nose, and I feel a bit foggy. So if I say something crazy, it's not because I'm nuts. It's just because I have a COVID-addled brain. All right, Jimmy, that's what I'm going to say at least this episode.
Yeah, the disclaimer will go on the front, and just so you know, we are all wearing masks. It's the N95s, so we're fine.
Exactly. So, yeah, you want to see the Cinderellas win, but then when you get down to Sweet 16 time here, you're kind of like, all right, Cinderellas, that was cool for the first couple of days of the tourney, but now I want to see some of the big boys play. Mr. Williams, let's start looking at this tournament moving ahead. What's one of your more intriguing matchups coming at us this weekend?
Okay, before we get to that, this is only the 4th time since 1975 that we don't have either Kansas, Duke, Kentucky, or Carolina in the Sweet 16. Only the 4th time since 1975 that's happened. And parity reigns supreme. I mean, we knew that going in, but there's 11 conferences represented in the Sweet 16. That's the most since 2010. So just some fun facts there. This is the 3rd straight year we've had a 15 seed win at least one game. We went 45 years with that only happening once, and now we've had it 3 straight years. So next year, I mean, watch out for the 15 seeds to pull off an upset. So yeah, I think what I'm looking forward to most is the whole West. I mean, we talked about it last podcast. The West absolutely stacked. If you looked at the West, that's a possible like Final Four in itself. Just looking at that with Arkansas, UConn, Gonzaga, and UCLA. And Gonzaga and UCLA have some major history. We looked at that 2 years ago. The Jalen Suggs half court shot that was one of the most impressive games all around that we could have had there in the Final Four. And then dating back 17 years ago to the day was the Adam Morrison game, the 2006 game, where Gonzaga blew a 9-point lead with 3 minutes to go against UCLA. They didn't score the rest of the game. UCLA went on to go to the national championship game that year, lose to Florida. So there's a lot of history with the UCLA and Gonzaga producing some awesome games in the tournament. I'm looking forward to that whole West bracket in Vegas. Should be hopping.
So Jimmy, Chris, let me ask you guys this. Are we Tom Izzo guys now? Is that kind of where we land since like our picks are ultimately out of it and our Hoosiers are out of it and a lot of other Big Ten schools are out of it? Like, are we just Tom Izzo guys because everybody loves Tom Izzo? Because I think that's where I'm leaning. Jimmy, I'll go to you first.
Yeah, I just think it's kind of cool that no matter what Michigan State does, they're going to do great in the tournament. And I always forget it when I pick, but then afterwards, like, oh yeah, it's Michigan State in the tournament. They're going to go to the Sweet 16. They're going to go to the Elite Eight. It's going to happen. Yeah, screw it. Let's go Michigan State.
Chris, how about you? I think you probably feel a little bit different.
Yeah, a little bit. I'm not going to necessarily root for Tom Izzo, Michigan State to win. I do think that Tom Izzo is one of the greatest basketball coaches in college history. He probably deserves his own parking spot at the Sweet 16 every year because he seems to get to Michigan State to that level at least every single year. Usually not too much further, though. I don't see them advancing in this round. Unfortunately, Kansas State's a really, really good team. No, I'm gonna go for Creighton. I really think they're a real legitimate team right now. I got nobody else to root for. I've seen both IU teams, men and women's, get ousted by the U of Miami, so now they're on my shit list. So I'm really only going to root for Creighton, I think, is who I'm going to follow.
Man, Creighton is all about make or miss 3-pointers. That's a rough watch. Kansas State was part of one of the more enjoyable games that I watched. That was a real up and down game. They had the game to get them into the Sweet 16. I enjoyed that, and their coach, man, that was regular. That was like a Kurt Franklin stomp God's property song was breaking out at the end of the game there when their coach did the post game interview there. K-State, the power of the Lord apparently is behind only the Kansas State Wildcats and no one else. I mean, we certainly know it's not behind the Kentucky Wildcats, but come on, Kansas State coach, let's calm down a little bit here. It's all about boys on the court playing basketball more than it is anything else. But that's another podcast. Anyway, let's move on. Who do we ultimately think is going to be in the Final Four here? That's what we want to talk about. All right, Jimmy, who do you got? Who do you got now? We got the Sweet 16. Who do you got going down to the Final Four after this weekend?
Alabama, Houston, and then I actually have Tennessee, and I have Gonzaga.
Tennessee, interesting. All right, Rick Barnes.
I'm gonna go Kansas State out of the East. I'm going to go ahead and take UCLA out of the West, although that Arkansas team is very, very impressive and fun to watch. Out of the South, I'm going to take Creighton, and out of the Midwest, I will stick with
Chris,
Houston.
are you just picking Arkansas because you want to see that guy take his shirt off again? Is that really, is that more your motivation here for picking Arkansas?
I'm not picking Arkansas. I am picking K-State, or not K-State. I'm picking I am picking Arkansas.
I'm a host of the podcast. I asked you a question, you gave me an answer, and I heard it, and then gave you a follow-up to the answer that you gave me. Amazing how that works.
Yep, and I fucked it up.
All right, Williams, how about you, the handicapper? Let me ask you this. How many of your Sweet 16 teams do you still have remaining?
Depends on the bracket. I still have Houston as my national champion alive in one bracket. I did a combo bracket with my cousin in a different tournament, and actually we have 3 out of the 4 Final Fours, but we don't have our national champion. So yeah, it's been a wild ride. I think Houston is still going to win the Midwest. Miami showed that they could out rebound Indiana, but we've been talking all year how Indiana has been terrible at defensive rebounding, and Miami's just not going to get the boards that they did against IU, against Houston. So I like Houston to advance in the Midwest.
I'm not sure Miami's really that great at making shots either. I don't know that I went away from that game thinking Miami had a bunch of dudes who were stone cold bucket makers.
I mean, Wong and Pack are pretty legit. I mean, they just got whatever they wanted with like kind of the slow-footed IU wing defenders, and you're not going to have that against Houston. Houston will get up in your face. So, the South, I'm kind of with Chris, man. I think if anybody's going to beat Bama in the South, it's going to be Creighton. Creighton top 25 in defensive rebounding rate. Bama's free throw rate is 44th in the country, but Creighton is second in free throw rate defense, so they don't allow you to get to the free throw line. And Creighton's top 25 in 2-point field goal percentage and 2-point field goal defense percentage. So Creighton tempo 150th, Bama's 5th. So I think Creighton's going to slow the game down. I think if anybody's going to beat Bama in the South, it's going to be Creighton. The West is absolutely loaded. You could have anybody come out of the West, and the East stinks. And I think you could have anybody come out of the East. So why not go with the crazy Florida Atlantic coming out of the East? You can get that plus 450 to win that region. I don't think Tennessee is not as good as shooters as they showed.
Rick Barnes as coach. Rick Barnes has been around the block and never done anything meaningful. Let's not back Rick Barnes if you want to keep your money in your pocket.
Yeah, he's had some rough goes. He's only 2-11 against the spread in his career in the tourney when he's the favorite and he's playing a double-digit seed. I know Florida Atlantic's not technically a double-digit seed. They're a 9 seed, but still
they beat that Memphis team that was good, though, man. I mean, that Memphis team was good, and Florida Atlantic beat them. That team's strong.
And also 4 seeds facing 8 or 9 seeds in the Sweet 16 are only 6-10 straight up since 2000. That could be problematic for Tennessee. Yeah, Florida Atlantic, 33 wins, man. They're no joke. Plus, they have Dusty May, the former Indiana team manager, as head coach, and he already put it into the officials' head. They already put it into the officials' head where he said he's going to have to study South African rugby rules to prepare for Tennessee. He knows that Tennessee just beat the ever-living crap out of Duke, and he's not going to allow the officials to do that when they play against Florida Atlantic. Listen, Tennessee is not a good shooting team. They were 9 for 21 from threes against Duke. That's bound to regress, and Florida Atlantic can take advantage of that. Tennessee's going to beat you up, but Florida Atlantic could squeak out a win there, and then it's toss-up time with them, Michigan State and K-State. So I'll take a flyer on Florida Atlantic in the East. And the West, man, let's go Gonzaga, Drew Timme. We love some F-bombs being thrown at the post-game press conferences.
Give me a good mustache any day as well.
Yeah, and I mean, can the committee actually do this right next year with the Sunday games leading into the Sweet 16? That Gonzaga TCU game started at 10 o'clock at night. What are we doing? We want 2 standalone games on Sunday, and then the last game, like maybe the best game of that day, starts at 10 o'clock at night. Man, just brutal there from the NCAA.
Yeah, let's end there. Jimmy, do you miss, let's just go complete old guy yelling at clouds here. Do we miss the old days where we used to be able to go to CBS and they could whip around a game's finishing? I miss so much of that because we just don't get it anymore.
So it's a double-edged sword. Yeah, I do miss that. It is kind of cool to be able to see the game you want to see and not have to worry about anything. But this Indiana game didn't start till 10:30 at night because of some delays. That's ridiculous, and that throws the whole part of the tournament out. So yes, I'm going to be old guy, not as quite as old as old man Chris, but still, with the radio and everything back then. But I do like them whipping around, and it's a lot more fun that way.
Chris, how about you, man? Do you miss the old whip arounds? You got to miss the whip arounds like me. You remember back in the day when you had to listen just on the radio. So I'm sure it took a while even to get used to them being able to whip from game to game. Now being able to watch every game on what's something called True TV, your mind's got to be blown.
Yeah, listen, for people like myself, it's tough to find these newfangled channels where the games are on. Give me them all on CBS. Give me 12 hours of games on Friday and Saturday, and another 10 hours of games on Saturday and Sunday. One channel, whip it around, show me the exciting parts, the ends of halves, the ends of games. Be like the NFL Red Zone channel, because that's the best channel there is on Sundays, and show me the exciting parts. Go back and forth from games when they're exciting. I don't need to see a 30-point blowout on CBS when there's a great game going on somewhere else. Flip it over. Get the good games when they're good on the prime time free TV network that everybody
Hashtag
loves.
exciting parts only. Mr. Williams, your thoughts?
They did improve the Sweet 16 games. Did you see this year they moved up the first game by 40 minutes? So instead of the first game starting at 7:10 Eastern, they start at 6:30. So that is good. And they also created a gap in between. They used to start at 7:10 and 7:27. Now they're going to start at 6:30 and 7:15. So ideally, that first game is going to be right at halftime, and that second game is going to tip off. So you're going to be able to see more of the games there on TBS and CBS. So they actually did do something finally decent for the Sweet 16 games. But my God, the Sunday game, the first 4 days, they have to change that time slot.
There we go. There's your preview of what you can expect this weekend with the Sweet 16 games from our football handicapper, Josh Williams. But key word there being football. Mr. Williams, while I got you for a couple minutes here before Jimmy leads us on the NBA fast break, we should touch on a few NFL topics. And shout out to, I'm not exactly sure who it is that listens to the podcast. If it's you, Chris Ballard, if it's Jim Irsay, I'm not exactly sure which one of you guys are listening, but thank you very much for being listeners. I don't know what took you so long to take my advice. I'd only been screaming about this for years. I feel like I'm excited that I was able to manifest something in this here world of podcasting after doing almost 350 episodes. I made something happen, Mr. Williams. Gardner Minshew is an Indianapolis Colt. I know you had to just be a tear in your eye when you saw that news because you knew how happy I'd be to see it.
Heck yeah, man. We all love some Beowulf Minshew on this podcast, and for him to hopefully get a chance in Indy is fun, man. He's just a fun player, and hopefully he'll get a decent shot at the starting spot in Indy come next season.
Chris, I already don't appreciate the look on your face right now. We still are not a video podcast for the good people, but I already don't appreciate the look on your face as we are discussing new savior, Indianapolis Colts' new starting quarterback, Gardner Minshew. Who needs to draft a QB at number 4 now? The Colts have Minshew. Well, I mean, I don't understand, Chris. Why are you not as excited about this as I am?
What are you expecting to happen, Rod? You expecting the Colts to go out and win their division now? So you're expecting your favorite team to still be horrible and stink and not be very good? Then why are you
Gardner
excited?
Minshew is an exciting dude, man. He's an exciting guy. He looks like Uncle Rico. We're going to have some fun football games. We're going to have some great quotes. Chris, we're going to go out. We're going to have a good time. Indianapolis Colts fans are going to be about good times next year, Chris. We're not going to be on the edge of our seat, worrying about wins or losses, worrying about our head coach possibly getting fired. We're not going to have any of that kind of worry, Chris. We're going to be freewheeling and fun next year. It's going to be about come out, have some tailgate fun, have your buddies over wherever you're at, watch the Colts, listen to them on the radio while you're doing something else because we got Gardner slinging the shoe and the Colts really aren't trying to win. What's wrong with that? That sounds great to me. I'm signing up right now. Can I get season tickets?
What we're seeing is a franchise that's getting ready to be back to where it was in the 80s and early 90s before we got number 18. A plethora of also-rans and nobodies at quarterback, a plethora of a couple of good skill set players, maybe a good defense one year, and just mediocrity at best for the foreseeable future because our franchise, our team, doesn't seem to have the balls or the cojones, whatever you want to call it, to go out and get somebody that can actually change the trajectory of their franchise, a la a 26-year-old former MVP that can be had.
We didn't discuss this. We're not doing this. We're talking about moves that actually happened. The Colts signed Minshew, and the other favorite team of this podcast made a concrete move that was approved by the league. We are not going to live in fantasy land, Chris, where you tie in an actual signing that happened and rain on my parade with something that you think may be able to happen. No, we're not doing that. I'm sorry, my friend.
So I am excited, Williams. We haven't chatted about this really except for text a little bit, but Bears traded the number 1 overall pick to the Panthers. I love this trade. I love everything about the trade. Let me tell you why I love the trade. They got a number 1 wide receiver. Is he the best wide receiver in the league? No. Is he a top 10 wide receiver? He's in that 8 to 12 range, I think, and that just makes every other receiver in that room better because they've gone down a spot. Love that trade. I love the picks they got. They've got their quarterback they need. They made some good defensive free agent signings, good offensive lineman signing as well. Williams, I am pumped. keep me pumped on this, buddy. Keep me pumped.
Yeah, we finally have some positive energy with the Chicago Bears transactions, man. They they go out and get number one wide receiver DJ Moore, who's been I think chronically underrated by the whole league because he's had terrible quarterbacks.
Terrible quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Terrible. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and they still have a top 10 pick. They have the pick number 61. They get a first round pick in 2024, second round pick in 2025. They got a lot of picks out of this, and they have a ton of money to spend still. They shored up the linebacker core, like you said, and getting some good interior offensive linemen from the Titans. So still not out of the question. They could go offensive tackle in the top 10. We'll see. But yeah, finally some good momentum here for the Chicago Bears, if you can believe that.
Well, and they still have $20 million more than any other team under the salary cap. So we are going to see some people getting released, picking up some hopefully interior linemen on that defensive line for sure, because that's what we still need. But listen, the division is wide open because there's a number 12. Hasn't happened yet, Rod. I understand.
I was about to say,
calm
don't you
down.
dare.
Has not happened, but number 12 is probably not going to be the owner of the Bears anymore in the division. It's really wide open. So excited about that. And
am I also allowed to gloat here, though, Jim, that I was screaming for the Colts to not be the team to trade up, and again proving that Irsay or Ballard listens to this podcast? Am I allowed to gloat here as well on this?
I mean, they made a horrible decision because we're going to end up with Anthony Richardson as our quarterback of the future, and that's not going to be a good thing. And as a season ticket holder, very excited to see Anthony Richardson and not C.J. Stroud or Bryce Young. Who would want those guys on the team?
You got Minshew. You've got Minshew, Jimmy. You've got Minshew.
Listen, I think it's hilarious, and I like Gardner Minshew a lot.
Hilarious?
Yes. Oh, it's great. It's fantastic. He's going to be a lot of fun. And guess
the
what?
only mistake the Colts made was giving him a 1-year contract, because when he blows up and goes nuclear and the Colts have to sign him to a multi-year deal, they're going to be kicking themselves for not giving him a couple of years on the cheap at the beginning of this year.
You don't even believe that, though, Rod, because you just told us that you don't expect the Colts to be any good. So you know Minshew's not going to go off.
The Colts are bad. Are you going to get rid of a quarterback that throws for nearly 4,500 yards and 30 touchdowns and maybe 22 picks? But are you really going to throw that guy out on the street? I'm not going to. Bring him back. Let's go.
Who's that quarterback?
That's
Williams,
Minshew,
please
baby.
help us.
That's
Williams,
Minshew.
please help.
You guys all tell me the Steichen's the guy. He wanted Minshew. Trust in Steichen. Trust in Minshew. He could throw a football right over that mountain.
I wouldn't be so sure that they're still not going to trade up. I've heard some.
Stop
Yeah,
it.
I've heard some rumors they could still go up to 3 to get Will Levis. So,
Jesus.
You've already proved that they listen to me, guys. Chris, Jim, Don't trade up. You're fine where you're at 4. The only thing you need to do is you still haven't gotten rid of the guard from Notre Dame. That is a big, huge weight on the salary cap. That's the only other thing I've been screaming at them to do for a while. Once they do that, Jimmy, it will definitively prove that someone at Colts leadership listens to this podcast.
Hey, we'll give you our second round pick this year for him. That's perfectly fine. I'll take him on the team.
Done. Manifest it.
If Will Levis is the pick, I'm going to go on a 30-minute rant to start the podcast after that. Here's the deal. If they sucked in college, they're not going to be good in the NFL. Oh, well, this guy in the ninth round in the ninth round in 1975 was good. Okay, fine. No problem. Don't pick Will Levis, please.
I'm just saying, man, get ready for some mayonnaise in your coffee. Just get ready for it.
Shut up.
Mr. Williams, thank you so much for coming back with us. I believe we're going to try to get you again. I don't know, though. Scheduling for future Morgan You Knows are up in the air a little bit at this moment. I might not be around. It's going to be completely up to Jimmy who comes on and what gets talked about for about a week. So we'll just have to wait and see your next appearance, Mr. Williams. But thank you for dropping some knowledge on us here tonight.
No problem. I have one last quick little tidbit
Circle
here.
back,
Circle back. A bettor at the South Point. Can you believe this? Put 2,000 on FDU money line at 25-1 against Purdue. Hello, 50K. Boilers go down. Oh, baby.
Oh, man. Boilers go down. You hate to see it.
That's a nice day.
You hate to see it.
All right. That was a little football nugget there from our handicapper, Josh Williams. We talked college basketball. Now it is time to get into pro basketball when we do the fast break, led, of course, by Jimmy Jamriska on the other side of a break.
Welcome to the Fast Break, the fastest 15 minutes in the Morgan You Know universe. I'm Jimmy. We've got Chris. We've got Rod. We are starting off. We are lighting the beam. They are 1 game back of second place. They are, I think, 4.5 games back with like 11 to go, so it's probably not going to happen, of first place in the West. They are our Sacramento Kings. We are pumped. Chris, light the beam, buddy.
We are very, very excited in Kings Nation right here. I mean, I was not very happy that we did lose to the Jazz the other night, but that's here nor there. We're still 7-3 out of our last 10. We're still one of the hottest teams in the West. We're still scoring. We still got the most clutch player in the NBA right now, and De'Aaron Fox. He's going to get that award this year. It's the first year for Clutch Player of the Year. That's no more hardware for our Kings players. We are coming into the postseason with one of the most successful records on the road in the Western Conference for the NBA, which makes us a very, very dangerous team in a 5 or 7 game series.
Rod, are you as optimistic as old man Chris for the Sacramento Kings moving forward?
No, unfortunately, I'm going to have to take issue with something that Chris said right here from the top of the show. And when Chris said that the Kings are one of the hottest teams in the West, he's completely dead wrong. The Kings are the only hot team in the West. That is absolutely the problem with the Western Conference right now. It doesn't seem like any one of these teams want to win and make the playoffs other than the Kings. So, yeah, buttered you up there a little bit, Chris. It actually wasn't as big of a shot as you thought it was coming.
Well, we are very excited to have the Kings still rolling. They are, I believe, 7-3 in their last 10. They've got some decent matchups coming up. They do have a couple of easily winnable games,
including right now as we're recording. They are taking on the Boston Celtics.
Yes, and the Celtics. It's the Rod Damnation of the week.
But I do believe we should all follow one path in life, and if Kyrie Irving says we should do something, go the other way. Yep, that's right. All my friends who like the chowder over there in Boston Yard, you guys all sit down here for a second and take a listen. I am excited about this week's Rod Damnation because we are going back to on the court. Basketball play is all that is at the heart of Rod Damnation this week. It is not someone's bad decision. It is not someone's terrible thing they said in a press conference. It is not someone's fighting with a assistant store manager at a Foot Locker. None of that is involved in Rod Damnation this week. It is just about poor basketball play by a team that has been consistently one of the best in the NBA, made the finals last year, was on a mission to try to eradicate that wrong and win it this year, and they are 7-6 since the All-Star break, including a loss to the Houston Rockets, who the woeful Golden State Warriors could even beat on the road, and the Celtics couldn't manage to do that. The Celtics are 14th in team defense since the All-Star break. That doesn't sound like a top-level team. They are 13th in team offense since the All-Star break. That doesn't sound like a top-level team. Jason Tatum is extremely cold, shooting about 19% from the three-point line over his last 4 games. Rob Williams hurt again, shocker, and Joe Mazzulla possibly being out-coached left and right. The president, Brad Stevens, may be regretting the decision to take interim tag off of Joe Mazzulla and give him a multi-year contract because at the moment, the Boston ship seems lost in the sea. And it's really, really perplexing to me with a team with veterans, a team that had the absolute narrative of a comeback season, and hearing another team celebrate in their locker room last year, all ahead of them, and somehow it is all falling apart right here at the most important time. Boston Celtics, Rod Damnation of the week.
Chris, the Celtics have been entrenched in that number 2 spot all season. Oh, not all season. For the last couple of months here, they were actually number 1 for a while. 76ers are knocking on the door. I don't understand some of Mazzulla's. I don't understand a lot of things, but his substitution patterns are very strange, especially in that fourth quarter the other day when your best player didn't, like one of your best players didn't even play. How worried are you about the Celtics moving forward, especially if they have to play the Heat in the first round?
I'm very concerned, and anybody should be if you're a Celtics fan. They are not playing like a championship caliber team. Like Rod just laid it out real clear for everybody. They are playing mediocre basketball right now. And if they don't change that up in these next 2 weeks, you're looking at a first or second round exit easily.
The 76ers are playing very, very well, and we're going to go right into the MVP table here.
I take my rightful place at the head of the table. Believe that.
The table right now, I think, only has one guy at it, honestly, and he's going to cement himself over the next week because he's got.
But
some
I'm
good
going to
plays.
continue to keep arguing for this, Jimmy, because you have to have a ballot of 5 guys.
Correct.
So while, yes, we have one person who I think is the clear
Correct.
winner, we should at least give the other
Oh, we are.
guys their due and give them their
We
votes.
are.
Okay.
We are. So Joel Embiid is going to be your MVP this year. And if he's not your MVP, there's something wrong because he has just taken over and you will see he wants it bad. He said he wants it bad. And I kind of like that about him. And he's earned it. So let's give Joel Embiid his credit there. We've got to get 5 people, though, that Rod said. Thank you for that transition, Rod. I think Giannis has still got to be on there. Giannis is a beast.
Listen, I think Giannis has an outside shot
He
still at the MVP. I really think he does. I think if Milwaukee ends the year with the best record, right, and Giannis is still at 30 points a game and he's still flirting with triple-double type numbers and he's going to end up being in the maybe even the defensive player of the year, maybe second. I mean, he's got a shot. I think you're right, Jimmy, that Joel deserves it right now and he deserves to be the head of the table, but I don't know that it's as locked up of a case as we want it to be, unfortunately, but I think he definitely is head of table right now.
So we have Embiid, Giannis, and I think Joker still in there, even though the Nuggets have nuggeted. They are not doing very well at all over the last 10. I think that really helps Rod's case out for Jokic not getting 3 in a row now, especially since he's not getting a lot of shots up.
Well, he's still getting his numbers for the most part, but they're not winning, which if you want to be an MVP candidate, you got to win. And that's why Embiid is the head of the table because he goes out and performs well and outperforms these other guys when they go head to head. He's 3-1 against Jokic and Giannis combined. So he has both of their numbers right now. And the dude plays better defense than both of them. He gets way more stocks than just about anybody else at this table.
Stocks. Look at you, always shouting out the stocks.
We're going to jump off of Jokic here in a little bit, but we still have 2 spaces to fill here, guys. We had Tatum, we had Dame, we had KD on the lists in the past. They're gone. I'm sorry, that's not happening anymore.
I gotta relent on Dame. As hard as I fought for him those couple of weeks, and Dame, I want your people to remember that when you come to write your next diss track that I fought hard for you, but your Portland team is just out of the play-in race in the West of all conferences, right? Nobody even wants to make the playoffs in the West, and you still can't seem to do it. So no, Dame's got to be off the
OKC Thunder are going to be in the playoffs in the West. Think about that for a second. But
which makes interesting table discussion.
Well, let's talk about this here. So the second place team in the West is the Grizzlies. Ja Morant comes back this week. There's 11 games to go. No chance in hell if they go 11-0 and Ja averages a 40-20. Yes, 20 rebounds, 40 points. Maybe, but other than that, he's not. I mean, there's no way he's going to be the face of the league, right?
I wouldn't think so. I think even if you don't want to just point to the off the court stuff affecting votes, which we all know it will, but no one will say that, you could look at Memphis's record without him. You know what I mean? Like that just is the kind of thing that would hurt an MVP candidate to be like, well, your team was that good when you didn't play. So I think that's why Jack can't be.
Okay. Is there anybody from the Kings that should even be at the table right now? The Kings are awesome.
Jimmy, you're such a humble
Chris, I got you, Chris.
superstar.
Chris,
You know
I got
that?
you. Don't worry. Rod's hot. Rod is hot right now.
You're a
I
humble
like it.
superstar. You're a humble superstar. Chris, listen, you're going to get your chance in a second because I'm going to throw
Chris
it to you
is
here in a
jumping
minute.
off
But
the
Jimmy's
table.
a humble superstar. He's a humble superstar because this man, Jimmy, you wanted to put at the MVP table early in the year, and I had to take it because I laughed at you the most, and that man is probably Domas Sabonis.
Yep. He's got to be at the table, right, Chris?
He has done nothing but make a strong case for being the MVP type candidate. It's tough for me to say that I don't know if he needs to be at the table, though, because it's not just one person on the Kings. It's a 2-man tandem that is making this team run. It's not just Sabonis, it's Fox and Sabonis. If you could put 2 of them in one seat, that would be it. Because you don't just need Sabonis to do what he's been doing, which is distributing, doing the dribble handoffs, doing the pick and rolls. You need Fox on this team as well. Like I said before, he's the most clutch player in the fourth quarter in the entire league. And without that, you have a different Kings team.
Okay, so but I have someone in Philadelphia right now who's in pretty good shape raising his hand saying, "Hey, I'm also the number 2 player on a really good team. Why am I not getting any love?" James Harden. I said it out loud. James Harden MVP candidate. Is he at the table at all with what he's done?
No.
Thank you.
James Harden is definitely not at the
Yeah,
table. And I'll
no.
tell you why. Because you can't put a guy at the MVP table that doesn't seem to be working at maximum effort, right? Like James Harden seems to be just being like, all right, I can cook at 75%, and that's good enough for my team right now. I think I'm going to throw some catnip Chris's way, and you guys can laugh at me here for a change, right? I laugh at some of your suggestions for the table. You guys can laugh at me for one here. Tell me why I couldn't give Julius Randle a 5th place vote right now for MVP with the way he's played solid all year long. You can just always count on Randle being in the lineup. Scored a bunch of points for that Knicks team, played a little bit better defense as the year has gone on. Nobody wants to play the Knicks in the East right now. I guess Chris's whole argument of 2 people, you got to talk about Jalen Brunson on that team as well. But, man, Julius Randle just put up 56, and he's been pretty darn solid all year long. We've talked about him a couple of times. I think it's got to be somebody like him or maybe Gilgeous-Alexander in Oklahoma City.
I think Brunson is your pick there from the Knicks of the two, and I think that's where you're going to run into trouble because you're going to have people going back and forth. Chris King, Knicks, and then who would you pick?
Listen, everyone knows I'm a Randall fan. I have been a Randall fan for a while, ever since he was back with the Lakers and not getting enough playing time. He's definitely, I think, the rock of that Knicks team. He has been there the longest. He is there day in, day out. He doesn't take back-to-back nights off. He plays the entire season. He has a very high usage rate. He has good numbers. I don't have an issue with him maybe having a seat at the table. I do think that you have to have a strong look at SGA, though, out of OKC. He is putting together a phenomenal campaign. And even though they are a weaker team in the West, they're still in the playoff hunt. They're in playoff contention, and they can be a dangerous team. They have some firepower, but SGA has really put together a solid, top-notch campaign this year.
Okay, hey, Rod, quick question for you. Is Chris scared to pronounce SGA's first name, yes or no?
I think you're absolutely right.
Because it's actually changed this year, I believe. I think it is actually Shy now.
Yes, it is Shy.
It is Shy now, not Shea anymore. So right now we have an MVP table of Embiid, Giannis, Jokic, Sabonis, Randall, and Shy. Are we okay with 6 at the table, or do we need to get one of those last 2 out, boys? And listen, aggregators, calm down. We're talking about the 4th and 5th votes here, okay? No one's saying Julius Randle should be the MVP. I hate when I get all these mentions in Twitter. Calm down.
Here's what I would say, right? I wonder if Shy is going to get the Ja Morant baby MVP, right? Where Morant last year could have easily been on ballots for MVP, but he got most improved player. Tell me Shai Gilgeous-Alexander isn't maybe going to get most improved player, and all of a sudden that award becomes the baby MVP.
Okay. Chris, are you okay with that, or you want Randall on there still?
Listen, I think that's a real legitimate type thing. I think he is going to get those types of votes. The people that wanted to vote for Ja, who now aren't going to, will look for somebody similar, and that is definitely Shy.
Okay, so we have the MVP table there. Now, Rod, I understand, and Chris understands, and our listeners understand, that you have had something against Jokic winning 3 in a row. Nothing against the player, just we don't need him to win 3 in a row. I'm going to give you the floor to do what we do best on the Morgan You Know, make light of a situation. Go right ahead.
That's right. I finally believe that I've nailed down my animosity for Jokic, because as Jimmy just expertly laid out right there, I don't personally have animosity for the man. He's not evil. He's not out there doing terrible things. He's not saying terrible things. You know what I mean? Like, I'd have no earthly reason to hate this guy. I think what it is he is unathletic. He is not slam dunking the basketball. He is not jumping out of the gym. He is not running fast. He is not doing anything. He is just a tall, somewhat goofy white guy. Guess what? I'm from Indiana, supposedly the home of basketball. We got a lot of tall, goofy white guys. What I'm angry about is, why can't we produce our Nikola Jokic? Why do we have to import from a foreign country a goofy white guy to dominate the NBA? I believe that's why I'm a little bit anti-Jokic at times, and I admit that is quite jingoistic of me, but it is what it is. So in honor of that, I have come up with the list of the top 10 white American basketball players for this year's current NBA. Here we go. This is a lot of fun. Stay with
let's
me.
go.
Honorable mention. We start with 3 guys who were hurt quite a bit, but when they do play, they are pretty darn good white American basketball players. They are Gordon Hayward, Joe Harris, and Kevin Love. Shout out to those guys. We have a 3-way tie at number 10 between TJ McConnell, Grayson Allen, and George Niang. Yes, that's right. George Niang is a white American basketball player from Massachusetts. Number 9 on the white American list is Mason Plumlee. Number 8, Dante DiVincenzo. Number 7, Alex Caruso. Number 6, Brooke Lopez. Number 5, Kevin Herter. Number 4, Tyler Hero. Number 3, a rookie. Number 3 with the bullet, Walker Kessler. Number 2, probably the most controversial ranking on the list. He's everyone's favorite Los Angeles Laker. It's Austin Reeves at number 2 on the white American list. And the number 1 white American basketball player for this current year, NBA, is Domas Sabonis. Doesn't sound very American, does it? But he was born in Portland, Oregon. So Domas Sabonis, best white American basketball player this year. Any quibble with the list, Jimmy?
Really have a problem with Grayson Allen being on the list. He shouldn't be on anybody's list for anything.
Grayson Allen starts an awful lot for a championship caliber team. How does that not qualify him for this list?
He doesn't make them any better. They could replace him with somebody else and they'd be just as fine. You know that.
They could replace him with, say, TJ McConnell or George Niang, guys he's tied with on the list.
Yep.
Yeah, Grayson Allen, I agree. I'm not going to lie. I agree with Chris on this. Get the hell, Grayson. Your list of 10 is like 15 people, by the way. So I don't understand how that works either.
It is 15 exactly, but 3 of them are honorable mention and 3 of them are tied at number 10.
Did you name all the white guys that play basketball from America?
That's what I was thinking. Like, is there anyone who's...
Shout out Isaiah Hartenstein, you were thought of. Shout out Zach Collins. You've had a turnaround here in San Antonio this year. See, I had a few others that I didn't mention. Chet Holmgren wants to be on this list, but didn't play basketball.
And you know, Rod, we had a goofy...
People would want Josh Giddey to be on this list, but Josh Giddey's not from America. People would want Luka to be on this list, not from America.
Rod, we've had a tall, goofy white boy from Indiana go to the NBA, win 3 MVPs in a row. So we have had that already. Just so you know.
And we've got a white boy from Indiana on this list right now, Mason Plumlee at number 9, to hold it down for the Hoosier State.
That's a far cry from Larry Legend.
Listen, Mason Plumlee's getting minutes for the Clippers. I mean, you guys can argue this list all you want, but these are guys like Dante DiVincenzo getting good, strong minutes for this Golden State Warriors team. Herter, an essential part of the Light the Beamers. Tyler Hero is the second best, if not best player on the Heat some nights. Domas Sabonis, we argued, should be at the MVP table. I mean, you know, who am I missing here? Come on, quibble with me. You guys are pushovers. I just dominated you with this list.
It's not a list anybody's ever thought of to try to make, Rod. We got some shakeups in the throne room this week, let me tell you. All right, I kind of want to just start off with the jester, but we're not. We're going to go in the king seat. Philadelphia 76ers. They won 8 in a row. They did lose to the Bulls, but it took double overtime and a hard-nosed defensive, grinded-out type game for the Bulls to get that win. And our head of the table, Embiid, showed up, put 37 and 16 down, 4 stocks. That's for you, Rod. So right now, the Sixers are the hottest team in the NBA as far as I'm concerned. They have been on fire for a while. They are neck and neck with Boston right now. I think they're only a half a game behind Boston right now, so they are catching up quick. Only 3 games back from Milwaukee. Milwaukee's lost a couple games lately that they shouldn't have lost. That being said, in the queen seat is our very own Sacramento Kings. They are the hottest team in the West, like Rod said earlier. They deserve that queen seat right now. And then I'm going to put Milwaukee in the prince seat because Milwaukee's still best record in the East, and they're still winning a good amount of games. Jester, the Golden State Warriors.
They can't win any road games. That's a fair vote.
They can't win games against teams they should be beating. Teams that, like, they lost twice to Oklahoma City. I mean, and then they lost twice to Memphis when they're talking all this trash and trying to get on, saying Dylan Brooks isn't worth mentioning, yet he is in their heads because they can't do anything against them.
Well, just not that. They were going on a 5-game road trip, and they told all of us, just watch. We're going to show you who we really are. And they proceeded to lose the first 3 games of the road trip and beat the Rockets barely.
Barely. They are the defending NBA champions. They have the same core. Everybody's, for the most part, healthy, like their core is, but they cannot win games. And
I'm still not counting them out, though. You're absolutely right about everything you said, Chris, but I'm still not counting them out.
yeah, but listen, if you're not going to be able to win on the road, you're going to be in the bottom half of that bracket. That's most of your games on the road. That is a tough hill to climb. I don't even care if you are Golden State.
And with that, we're going to end the show. This has been the Fast Break on the Morgan You Know's Podcasting Network.
Goodbye, Internet.